here is one of the most beautiful women I've ever met. A former wife of legendary Muhammed Ali, mother of Layla and Hannah, the love of his life, Miss Veronica Porche.
Thank you, Diana. You're so gorgeous yourself.
Thank you. And there are a couple of questions I really want to know, and I just guess everybody else. We know who Muhammad fought in the ring, but I would love to know from you, did you fight him out of the ring?
Oh, I wouldn't be brave enough to fight him. Not even domestically, actually. But sometimes if it wasn't too serious and I was just a little angry at him, I might pick up a newspaper and swat him with it or something playful like that.
Oh, he was a lucky guy that he was not married to Italian. So when you get a little bit frustrated or, didn't you take a pillow or wooden spoon and chase him around?
No.
No?
No, not really.
Well,
no.
he is really a lucky guy because we take in Italy, south of Italy, shoes, and chase him with the high heels. Boxing is a violent sport, and what did he think about violence in general?
He was actually against violence, and he was very peaceful actually just in his private life, and boxing was something he did. But for example, when my daughter Layla decided she wanted to box, he was totally against it. He didn't believe in women fighting, and he thought it was too tough and too hard. So and especially other types of violence, he was definitely against violence. He saw boxing as a sport. Unfortunately, it was violent, but it was still a sport to him.
So did he ever go to watch Layla?
Yes, of course.
Did he suffer?
Probably because he was worried, but he was also very proud of her because she beat everyone, and she had, I think it was something like 6 championships, and she was undefeated. And that made him very proud. And he passed some good genes to her.
That's very nice. I faint all the time. Whoever boxes, I faint. I can't do it.
It's hard. It was very hard for me to watch both of them. Even harder with my daughter than watching him.
Oh yeah, she's a female, more fragile,
yes.
And but I guess you have to get used to it. So
right, I had no choice with either one. I had to get used to it.
What would he do to upset you when it comes to kids, when they were little babies? Diapers, changing diapers, crying. What would he do?
He tried his best, but he made a lot of mistakes. He wasn't used to, having to watch the kids himself. Okay. So sometimes, a lot of times, he had this Rolls Royce and he loved to have the top down. Mm-hmm. And he had, all of his kids would spend every summer. So there were at least 7, 8 kids in the house, and he'd take them out in the Rolls Royce, and they would stand up behind him, holding on the back of his seat. And I would tell him, Muhammad, make sure the kids are sitting down. So he said, okay. He'd tell them to sit down, but I'm looking out the window, and he's driving out the driveway, and they're already standing up. They're not even on the street yet, So, I mean, something like that used to. And I wouldn't really get angry because I knew he told them, but then he's not looking, he's not paying attention, Things like that he did. Sometimes we were meeting my sister. I remember at her work, she had a party for the kids. She worked with kids, so they had a Halloween party, so we went. And he took the kids with him. I met him there. So then when I get there, Layla was a baby, and she still had on her night clothes and no diaper. He didn't pay attention.
Oh, okay.
Things like that. That's so it's.
So he
made mistakes. He didn't pay attention, so
he got
usually
bad.
usually the women do that. We dress them, put the little diapers, everything. So he wasn't thinking about, this is not a dress, this is a nightgown.
So he found everything on himself. Did he get angry?
No, I didn't get angry, but I said, Muhammad, you have to, make sure she has a dress and make sure she has a diaper. Anyway, so things like that.
Well, I think everybody got that in the life, before or later.
Yeah, if you're not used to doing it, I understand. He's not used to getting them dressed himself.
Change the diapers. He wasn't changing diapers.
No, so he didn't even think of checking. Look under. Does she have?
But did he smell?
No, I don't think. No, luckily nothing happened. No accident.
Oh, okay.
We got home. We got home okay.
He's a lucky guy.
Yeah,
he's a lucky guy.
Yeah.
Anything that is funny from the life, not for what people know.
Just everyday things that he would do that probably, I don't know, maybe some other people do. His office, he had a library and he sat there every day. And it was an 11,000 square foot house. So the kitchen was a little bit of a distance from where he was. You had to walk through a couple big rooms to get to the kitchen, but he loved to light the fireplace. So he would go to the kitchen, he'd get a piece of paper, go to the kitchen, light the paper, and then he'd walk through the house with this paper burning, and he did that every day, and he almost didn't make it to the office. It was almost like a contest to see, okay, can I get to the office without burning the house down, without the fire getting to my hand and throw it in the fireplace.
He was challenging by then.
So that probably might have made some people or wives angry, but I didn't know about it until my daughter told on him.
But did he ever get burned?
I don't think so. I think he always made it.
He loved the challenge all his life.
But my daughter remembered it, and she's the one who actually told me that he did it. She fibbed on him. So maybe he needed a spanking for that one.
And not even wooden spoon would work then. Okay. Who is the one to give in? Who is the first to come to make peace?
Oh,
right.
that one's easy. He would always come to me because he was the one wrong. It's a joke, but it's true. But he has to come say he's sorry, because usually it's because of something he did, So, but that's the truth, and I'm not trying to make it look like he's bad, but I'm talking about things that things, everyday things like the kids in the car or something like that. But he was good at. I tend to get quiet and not talk. So it was more him coming to me, and he would either just hug, he'd grab you and just hug you until you laugh, or he'd do the little thing in the ear to make you,
So he was doing an effort.
Yeah.
You have to recognize that.
Yeah.
That's a very nice characteristic.
But I really didn't stay angry long. If I was, it goes, the next day I'm not angry anymore.
Next day?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
He didn't really do a lot of serious things that make me angry, really, honest. We were for each other, I know that. And I was 18. I was 18 years old. And we got divorced when I was 30. So
that's exactly
I was still a baby. I was living with my mother. I had just turned from 17 to 18 when I met him. So I was making the transition from being a child. I was still asking my mother permission to go places, even when I'm 18, because you don't automatically start being an adult just because you turn 18. When all your life you're asking permission.
Right.
Muhammad wanted me when we first fell in love. he wanted me to go to stay, you know, where he was. I told him I have to ask my mother. I remember.
That's nice.
We called
Sweet.
my mother. We called my mother, and he asked my mother permission.
That's nice.
Yeah,
That's nice.
that's true. I was a baby.
But I'm sure if that, when you were 30, what happened, if it happened like 10 years after, that you would still be with him.
Probably.
Because it's a big difference
yeah, it's
in
true.
maturity and the wisdom and everything. But
If it weren't for that, we would still be together. Even now, even with the age that I was. So, which is sad. It makes me sad. You know, there's a lot of people who think, or I read it on the internet about myself, they don't know. Oh, she left him because he was sick. That's not true at all. Had nothing to do with it. And as a matter of fact, he wasn't sick yet when we got divorced. He had one symptom, his thumb did. This was it. Everything else was normal. He always, you know, slurred a little bit. We thought maybe it was because he was tired. But later, years later, we realized it's because of Parkinson's. But we didn't know then. They were saying he had something that would not get worse. And I remember after we were divorced, I heard they changed his diagnosis to full Parkinson's. Before that, they said it was Parkinson's syndrome and it wasn't going to get worse. So if you have this, it's not bad. You know, you can still do everything else. He was still young. He was 44.
But people talk. You can't stop people.
Yeah, I
of
know.
talking.
But they don't know. They don't know what they're talking about. You know. But I know. What can you do?
You can stop.
You
it.
can. Yes, I realize that.
Veronica, thank you very, very much. I know it was hard for you, but we have to keep going. Life goes on.
That's true. Thank you, Diana.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.